Guys, welcome back to the Ike Mma podcast or the Ike Mma show. I'm joined in studio with Muay Thai fighter Jacob Thompson. Jacob, how you feeling?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. But no, I'm good as well. Just feeling a bit under the weather with a bit of a cough. But look, we've been trying to schedule this thing, but our schedules just keep clashing. Just if you're busy,
Oh
then I'm free,
no.
or if I'm free, then you're busy doing something. But getting right into it, I mean, speaking to you now for the first time. Um, First of all, combat sports. I mean, can you give me just or give the audience just a brief history and background, I mean, about yourself and what kind of enticed you into going into combat sports, and then beyond that, being more specific, Muay Thai.
Um, to be honest, like when I was younger, I think I just obviously I wanted to learn how to fight, or I don't really know to be honest, but obviously I've like thought about all the normal things like boxing and that, but like, it didn't really interest me too much. And then I heard about Muay Thai, and obviously I heard about obviously you could elbow and that, so I think to be honest, that's what really enticed me into it. But yeah, when I first started it, it wasn't. I wouldn't say I necessarily like fell in love with it straight away. I just enjoyed it for the like I'd go down, train, do a little bit of sparring or whatever. But I didn't take it too seriously. And then as I got a little bit older, maybe like started going down the wrong path a little bit. But like Andy, my coach, like he was always there, always trying to sort of keep me on the right track. And eventually, obviously, I just sort of realized that I needed to sort myself out. And yeah, like I just started training properly, training every day, and yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
I know that Muay Thai isn't as full on or as severe as say mixed martial arts, because mixed martial arts is almost if you've got everything in the kicks, the takedowns, the striking, the punches, the kneeing, just all the kind of offenses and defenses you can see in mixed martial arts. But with Muay Thai, I mean, were there any concerns from family or friends about maybe your overall health, maybe an injury may have been just far too severe and caused really, some serious consequences for you?
Um, yeah, I think obviously when I first started it, like I wouldn't say that my parents were necessarily like impressed with it. Like I think they obviously just thought it was gonna make me a bit more naughty or whatever. But obviously eventually when I started doing good things with it, and it, as I said, was sort of keeping on the right track. I think they obviously realised that as much as it is a violent sport, it also sort of teaches you a lot, and obviously you have to be a good person and sort of do the right thing. And just discipline and obviously the basic sort of what would you call it, morals that you need as a fighter.
Um, did you also find it quite because you said that at some point you just find yourself going around the wrong path or so, following the wrong crowds. Did you find it maybe quite therapeutic? This is a way to kind of vent out the anger and frustration you may be feeling at some times or some days.
Yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't even necessarily say it's just sort of violence and anger as such, but it's like the carrying out of violence. And I know that obviously might sound a bit like weird, but it's like obviously with Thai, you have a hard spar with someone. It's not like a spiteful thing. Like you're being violent with each other, but you then bomb around and you're laughing with each other. You're hugging each other, and the same with a fight. Like that, you're really trying to hurt your opponent. Um, but then the second that bell rings, it's just like it's almost like instantly you have that connection because you
Yes,
both obviously you respect each other, no matter what. Because you both know that you're in there for the same thing
yes, yes.
and what it takes to get there as well. So you have that mutual respect for each other.
Um, I'm kind of like jumping the gun a bit here for questions I got in my mind to ask you, but um,
Yeah, no.
um, your last fight that you had with Ian Patel, um,
Yeah.
what were, as in, it's something I do ask fighters quite because something that at the moment I'm sure you can tell what's happening on the MMA side of things. Not that this guy lost a fight, but I think some other domestic issues are going on that people are trying to really drag his name through their money, just giving him a hard time. I mean, after you come out of a fight but you didn't win. What are people's as in reaction towards you? I mean, does it really dent your state of mind, your mental strength to the point of maybe you want to quit? Because I do know I've seen some comments on social media, and I do think to myself, well, at least the person who didn't win the fight at least had the guts and the balls to go in there and do what I'm assuming, I'm guessing the other person who's trolling you online would never do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to be honest, like not even to be like that, I couldn't really care what like people think. Like I never got into fighting to like impress other people or bother what other people think about me. Like I just enjoy it. So, like I lost the fight, but to be honest, like I wasn't happy with my performance one bit. Um, so because obviously when I was talking about it with sort of certain people after, I sort of remember saying that I would have been just as annoyed if I won it, because it's I just didn't perform. I just didn't perform how I know I could have. So I take it on the chin, and props to Liam because he was very very tricky. Like he made it a tricky fight, and I think I not to say like didn't prepare for it properly, but I just didn't necessarily anticipate like the effect of maybe his teeps, that constant teep to the legs and things. And like what I realized obviously after I was in there with him is that it's not necessarily how tall he is, yeah, because obviously he's very tall for the weight division, but like it's like, and I say this with all respect, like he's very disproportionate. Like his legs are are so long compared to his body. So even though he's 6 foot, he's got the legs of someone who's taller. And it's like that little thing that I didn't sort of anticipate. But
No,
but I'll say that that's just one sort of little aspect of why I think I struggle to just, I don't know what it was, get in my rhythm or or fight my fight, um, or get into my flow, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, it's annoying, but at the same time, as I said, I couldn't care what other people think about it. Like, um, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's damaged me. Like, some people might say, oh, well, I don't know, but yeah, me personally, I've learned from it, so I'd rather take that loss and learn the lesson. You know.
your fight coming up in February next year at the Hitman Fight League Road to One Championship. So can you talk a bit about that? I mean, I was looking at your Instagram profile and looking at the One Championship and the Hitman Fight League. Have you got an opponent yet for that upcoming bout?
Um, well, I don't know who I'll be fighting in the first round, but obviously it's a four-man tournament and it's two fights in one night, so
Oh, right.
it's yeah.
Okay. Um,
I mean, when
uh,
I when I when I obviously first heard about it,
yes.
I just sort of assumed that it was going to be separated, so it'd be the semi-final and then the final a couple months down the line. But obviously, when it got announced, I see that it said that two fights in one night. So I thought, obviously, that's interesting. But listen, that's why I love this sport, you know, the challenge of it. Like, yeah, it's crazy, but that's why it's brilliant.
2 fights in one night. I mean, do you feel? I mean, okay, you haven't been told who your opponent is going to be yet. So let me just understand this without sounding like an idiot. Is it as in two separate fights completely, not as in two separate rounds, but two separate fights, same opponent, and that's how it's how it's arranged.
No, so it'll be the semi-final, and then I assume there'll be like a break or whatever. Well, not necessarily a break, but maybe obviously a few fights in between, and then it'll be the final of the winners of the semi-finals.
And Road to One Championship, that is a big platform, so it's going to be a big deal. I mean, do you feel any pressure, of course, to get the win in the bag, at least on both occasions on this in that
Um,
night?
Listen, I feel the same pressure as any fight. Like, to be honest, I treat every fight as the biggest fight of my life anyway, because it is. You know, the past, and whatever's coming in the future is always the most important thing. You know, so no matter what, I don't think I don't think there's any added pressure. It's just like things falling into place. You know, because
Yeah.
that's obviously where I wanna. That's where I wanna be anyway. You know, and like, if anything, the more pressure of anything makes me a better fighter, improves me as a person. So yeah.
You're still a very young fighter now, so still got a lot of years ahead of you. Um, but what plans do you have in mind for the future? I mean, saying say the next 5 or 6 or 10 years, where do you see yourself? I mean, you're happy with Muay Thai. You wouldn't think of venturing into, say, another branch of combat sports, even if it's mixed martial arts or bare knuckle. Well, I mean, what does your future then look like? Where do you want to see yourself the next 5 to 10 years or so?
Yeah, 100%. I don't really see myself transferring to anything else. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I think MMA and everything else, and the bare knuckle stuff or whatever, like, it's brilliant. But you know, like, Muay Thai is my thing, and I think especially now, obviously with one, how they're sort of making a whole new sport out of it. To be honest, like, obviously just announced today, you've got the partnership with Sky Sports,
Yeah.
which is obviously, we'll see how it plays out, but you know, massive for the sport, especially domestically. You know, and as long as it's obviously marketed correctly and everything, like, they're bringing a whole new sort of market or whatever, or viewership, whatever you want to call it.
So, for a typical fight that's coming up or in the run up to, in the lead up to your fight camp, as in, how's it? What does it look like? What happens? I mean, I'm guessing it's almost the same for every athlete. It will not look too different, but for you specifically, how do you like to usually take things and handle things?
To be honest, I've just always done the same thing. Right? Obviously, I'll do whatever Andy says. You know, and obviously we're in the gym, like, in camp. Like, well, we're in the gym every day anyway. You know, whether I've got a fight coming up or not. You know, like, I PT there, so no matter what, I'm still down there training. But obviously, when I have a fight, it's just upping the intensity of it. To be honest, you know, more rounds, longer rounds, harder rounds, more sort of circuits, whatever at the end, more strength and conditioning. You know, it's just more intense. Obviously, more stringent with my diet, but even my diet as well. It's not like, I don't necessarily go crazy. I just keep it simple. I keep it simple. But I've never had a nutritionist or anything like that. I've always just sort of done my own research, and I've never in camp. I never really lose into necessarily eat weight. Sorry, lose weight.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm never eating to lose weight. It's um, it's more for for feeling the best. You know, whatever's gonna fuel me the best, make me feel good. that's what I eat. So I'm not really counting calories or anything like that. But where I've obviously just always done it myself, I've sort of got it down to my own sort of strategy now. Always works. As I said, like I'm disciplined with it, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily like forcing myself to eat anything I don't want or whatever. So as I said, I keep it simple and yeah, always made weight, never miss weight.
You say in terms of your diet that's you don't go crazy or anything in terms of keeping it clean, but of course you want to eat the best food, the best nutrition, so you feel great in the gym. But seeing how you guys train, because combat sports athletes, especially mixed martial arts and Muay Thai fighters, because you guys, your activity levels are very high, very intense. I could have thought, and call me stupid or call me silly for even mentioning this or asking this. I would have thought the calories, the body it runs through you guys very quickly because the activity levels, energy levels is always very high because you're always very active.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, you're losing calories, but you're losing a lot more calories than a normal person would be, and obviously you need to replace that. But as I said, everyone's different with it. Some people obviously have nutritionists. They're telling that everything to weigh out, whatever, how much to put in. Everyone's different. I just, as I say, personally, um, I know what I sort of need to eat to keep me fueled the best, and I just stick to it.
Now, in combat sports or in Muay Thai, is there any particular figure that I mean you told me as to what led you to be to get involved in the sport, but is there any particular figure or athlete in the sport that does inspire you?
Um, it's hard to say. Like, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily. I don't really know. Like, obviously, I've got plenty of fighters that I admire that I think are brilliant. But as I said, I never sort of knew about the sport when I was getting into it. So it was not like I never had sort of any inspiration, sort of from that sense. But uh, like Alfie, you know, like my teammate Alfie, like literally started training after me. And what he'd been training maybe like three years now, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. Like, I can't even remember, but not very long. And literally been out in Thailand, absolutely absolutely killing it. First British fighter to ever fight for the Raja belt. Um, beat Adam Noy, you know. So like if anything, yeah, like he's probably one of my biggest inspirations, you know, to show me, to show everyone that, you know, like it is possible for us to go out there and compete with the Thais and the highest level sort of stadium fighters. Um, like another one, like Haggerty, John Haggerty.
Yes,
He's
yes.
another example of someone you know, like he's out there and he's doing it. You know, he beat the man Nongo. Obviously won his last fight as well. So no matter what, like he's putting a massive stamp on the sport for the UK. So he's another person that just, you know, shows what's possible in the sport, like not being a tie or whatever. So yeah, like if anything, like I'd say maybe they're my inspiration, but I don't really know. Like,
Um, venturing away from Muay Thai, I just to get your opinion on the matter, because it looks like it's something that just will not go away. Um, and if you want to give your take on it, the
what
Ian,
was that? Sorry, what was
no,
that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
no, if you want to give your take on it, the
Oh,
situation, yeah, um, the Ian Gary Massa. I mean, what do you think about? I mean, the upcoming fight he's going to have against Vincent Luque, and also, do you think he should attend the press conference or do you think he should stay away? I mean, I did, on his Instagram, I think his latest post, he has a promoting his fight. There's just about 1,000 comments last time I checked, probably even more now. And people just slandering the guy, basically. Not really any good
Yeah.
comments at all.
Um. Yeah, I think that he's a fighter. What I don't really think it's gonna would make any difference, like to him going to the press conference. I don't really know. Like I can't really speak for him. But it's just, yeah, I think that's what obviously what happens. You know, people find a thing, people can find something that they want to buy it on or whatever, and I don't. To be honest, I don't really follow the situation like that
Okay.
much. Like, I've seen obviously a little bit about it or
Yeah.
whatever, but yeah, I wouldn't say I follow it closely as such.
No. Well, lastly, I will have to ask you is any shout outs to give out. And the people you mentioned, as in the guys you do look up to a lot in your gym, the team that you're fighting out. So you can please send me the link. I'll tag them in the description, both on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously Andy, my coach, Andy Teams ID, that's his Instagram. Um, he's obviously like my main pad man, like padding me every day, training me every day. As I said, he's always been there for me. Like he's like a second dad. But yeah, he's the man. Kieran, like he's been down training with us for a while now. Like same again with him, sort of train with him sort of day after day. Alfie, as I said, like literally just got back to the UK to be fair today, so I'm excited to see him. Who else? There's loads of people. There's loads of people. I couldn't even go on. Mike, um, another one of my sort of coaches, always been there, or teammate, fighter. So yeah, like everyone down the gym, they're all important to every aspect.
Jacob, thank you so much for coming on the show. And guys, if you've watched or listened right to the end to this point, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also catch the audio copies of the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other audio platforms online as well. Jacob, it looks like maybe when we speak again, we'll try and schedule this during the daytime. You look knackered.
Yeah,
How's the
100.
train?
Yeah,
All right, thank you for coming on. Thank you.
top man, mate. Take care.